Okay, so once again I will explain all the steps. Here we are deriving the expression for the centripetal acceleration. So in order to explain the centripetal acceleration, here we consider the two triangles. One is based on the position and other is based on the velocity of the object. Okay, so from this two triangle, it is clear that angle theta, angular displacement, is common. The angular displacement is the angle made by the radius vectors in the case of the triangle based on position. Similarly, from the second triangle, the angle theta represents the angle made by the two velocity vectors. Then, in the next step, we are consider the expression for angular displacement. Okay, it is the ratio between the two sides of the triangle. So from the first triangle, delta theta is equal to delta r by r. From the second triangle, the angle delta theta is equal to delta v by v. So here we get two equations. So in the next step, we are going to equate the equation 1 and 2 because here the LHS of these two equations are same. It is nothing the angular displacement delta theta. So by equating these two equations, we get delta r by r is equal to delta v by v. In the next step, we just rearrange the equation by bringing this term velocity to that of the LHS. So we have v into delta r by r is equal to delta v. Then we divide the both sides of the equation. That is dividing LHS and RHS by a small time delta t. Then we get v by r into delta r by delta t is equal to delta v by delta t. Next step, apply the limit to both the LHS and the RHS. Here we are applying the limit to both the LHS and the RHS. It becomes limit delta t tends to 0, v by r into delta r by delta t is equal to limit delta t tends to 0, delta v by delta t. And we know that whenever we are applying the limit means we are applying a small value of time. Here the delta t tends to 0. It is assuming to a 0 value. So this limit delta t tends to 0 and the delta combined together, we can write in the or express in terms of d by dt form. So v by r into dr by dt is equal to dv by dt. We know that dr by dt is the velocity. And that is the rate of change of displacement of the particle. It represents the velocity of the object, linear velocity. dv by dt is the rate of change of velocity. It is the acceleration possessed by the object. So we substitute the value of dr by dt and dv by dt into the above equation. It becomes v by r into v is equal to a or v square by r is equal to a. This acceleration possessed by the object along a circular path is known as centripetal acceleration and it is known as AC or it is represented by AC. So AC is equal to V square by R. This is the equation for centripetal acceleration. Is it clear? Any doubt regarding with the steps?
No, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you show the previous slide?
Okay. This one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we are obtaining this d by dt form. We are already know that the limit delta t tends to 0 of delta of any value. If it is delta v, we can write this entire term as dv by dt. Because here the delta t is tends to 0. The small value of the time is represented by d by dt of v, a small change. Okay, so this limit and delta tends value combined together. They are combined together, we can represent it by dv by dt. Okay, this is a common representation in physics. Is it over? Okay. Now one more topic is there. centripetal force. Centripetal force. Next subheading, centripetal force. Here we have an idea about centripetal acceleration. If the object covers a uniform circular path, it possesses an acceleration because the velocity of the object is continuously changes. So the acceleration possessed by the object, if it covers a circular path, is known as centripetal acceleration. Then what do you mean by centripetal force? Write the definition. A net force that acts on an object a net force that acts on an object to keep it move along a circular path. So this is the force that keeps the object moves along a circular path. It keeps the object along a circular path. A net force that acts on an object to keep it move along a circular path. If and only if the centripetal force is present, then only the object can continuously move along a circular path. So this net force that acts on an object to keep it move along a circular path is known as centripetal force, or the force associated with the object along a uniform circular path. That is what is known as centripetal force. Write the expression for centripetal force. Expression or equation. Equation for centripetal force. Expression for centripetal force. We know the equation for calculating the force acting on an object. What is the expression for calculating the force acting on an object? Yes, Aditya? Repeat it once again. Expression F is equal to ma. It is the product of mass and acceleration. The force acting on an object can be calculated by the equation F is equal to ma. But here we are going to calculate the centripetal force. So we can represent it by Fc, centripetal force. The force that is acting towards the center of the circular path in order to keep the object moves along a circular path. So Fc is equal to, mass remains constant always. So mass of the object into, what about the acceleration? Is it the simple acceleration? In order to keep the object moves along a circular path, it is the centripetal acceleration, AC. Very good. So the force acting on an object can be calculated by F is equal to ma. But here we consider the centripetal force. The equation becomes Fc is equal to m, mass of the object, into centripetal acceleration, that is AC. That is Fc is equal to mass m into. What about the centripetal acceleration? What is the equation for centripetal acceleration? AC. It is
V square by R.
So this is the equation for centripetal force. Fc is equal to mv square by r. We are starting from the expression for force. Force is the product of mass into acceleration. Here we are calculating the centripetal force, so it becomes Fc. Fc is equal to mass of the object into centripetal acceleration or the central acceleration AC. So Fc is equal to m into AC. But we know that AC is nothing, it is V square by R. So equation becomes Fc is equal to mv square by R. One more relation is there. One more relation. We know the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity, right? One more equation is there for calculating the centripetal force. What is the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity? Relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. Tom Sinton.
V equal to omega r.
V is equal to omega r or V is equal to r omega. And we know that the centripetal acceleration AC is equal to V square by r. Then here V is r omega. Substitute the value of V here. It becomes AC is equal to r omega the whole square divided by r. Okay. AC is V square by r, but the value of V, the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity is nothing. It is r omega. So we can write AC is equal to r omega the whole square divided by r. That is equal to r square omega square divided by r. So one term cancel. From denominator 1r and from the numerator 1r, it becomes r omega square. So AC is also equal to r omega square. AC is equal to r omega square. Then the expression for centripetal force Fc is equal to m into AC, that is Fc is equal to mr omega square. Both equations are possible for centripetal force. Okay. So centripetal force is the force that keeps the particles move along a circular path. And here we are deriving the expression for centripetal force. We are starting with expression for force. F is the product of mass into acceleration. Therefore, Fc is equal to m into AC, where AC is the centripetal acceleration, Fc is the centripetal force. Fc is equal to m into V square by r, because centripetal acceleration is equal to V square by r. We just substitute the value of AC here. So Fc is equal to m into V square by r. This is one equation for calculating the centripetal force. Now in the next case, we are considering the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. By their relation, we know that V is equal to r omega. Then the equation for centripetal acceleration is varies. We know that centripetal acceleration is equal to V square by r. It becomes r omega by r the whole square. Sorry, r omega square divided by r. By solving it, we get AC is equal to r omega square. So we get a new value or new equation for calculating the centripetal acceleration. That is AC is equal to r omega square. Again, our expression for centripetal force Fc is equal to m into AC. We substitute the new value of AC here. So it becomes m r omega square. So here we have two equations for calculating the centripetal force and centripetal acceleration. Any doubt? This is the last topic of this lesson, centripetal force. Any doubt regarding with this topic, centripetal force?
No.
In the textbook, it's a very small topic, uniform circular motion, but under this topic, we discuss a lot of terms associated with that of the uniform circular motion, starting with the displacement. angular displacement, angular velocity, angular acceleration. After that, we are deriving the relation between angular velocity and linear velocity. Then we are discussing about the centripetal acceleration, expression for centripetal acceleration, then centripetal force and mathematical expression for the centripetal force. Actually, it's a very small topic, but there are a lot of subtopics are there comes under this topic, uniform circular motion.
Ma'am,
Yes.
should we learn the derivations?
No, I think you don't need to study because we have MCQ exam for the term examination. You have MCQ, so you don't need to study the entire steps and all. Try to focus on the final equation. Only the final equation. Then only you can do the numericals and all. So you don't need to study the derivations and all. Even though in the case of in this chapter we are studying a lot of derivation, law of sine, law of cosine and all. Try to focus on the final equation. Okay. So that's all about this chapter, motion in a plane. Is there any doubt regarding with the topics? No. I will give you one more equation for, I think you don't need to study the derivation. One more relation is the relation between angular acceleration and a linear acceleration. Did you know the relation between angular acceleration and linear acceleration? Write one more subheading. Relation between angular acceleration and linear acceleration. Can you recall the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity? V is equal to r omega. Similarly, the relation between angular acceleration and linear acceleration is linear acceleration A is equal to, try to guess, r into alpha. Omega naught. Here we have angular acceleration. Relation between linear acceleration and angular acceleration. So here A is equal to r alpha. I will not give the derivation. Try to focus on the main equation. A is equal to r alpha. And compare all these terms that we are studying in this uniform circular motion along with that of the straight line motion or rectilinear motion of an object. Almost all the equations are exactly the same, only the terms are different. Okay. So we can quickly recall all the terms associated with that of the uniform circular motion of an object. Here again, most of them are switch off their videos. I don't know why. You not like this physics class? Feeling bored with that of the physics class? From the last class onwards, I think Aditya is switch on his video, right? Okay. So, uniform circular motion. Uniform circular motion, we are discussed angular displacement, angular velocity, angular acceleration. But today we are discuss about the centripetal acceleration. What do you mean by centripetal acceleration? We have 5 more minutes. 5 questions, 5 more minutes. Centripetal acceleration. Anyone unmute and say. I'm not compelling anyone. Centripetal acceleration.
The acceleration
of a body moving through a circular path.
Okay, it is the acceleration of a body that is moving along a
body traversing a
okay, circular path. Okay, all right. Then Abdullah, expression or equation for centripetal acceleration. Equation for centripetal. AC is equal to, I think some connectivity issues are there, right? Okay, no problem. Moving to Nimita. Equation for centripetal acceleration.
is AC is equal to V square by R.
AC is equal to V square by R. In connection with the centripetal acceleration, next topic that we will discuss here is centripetal force. Niranjan, what do you mean by centripetal force?
The force of a body moving in a circular path.
It is the force that is experienced by the object that is moving along a circular path. Then Sarah, expression for centripetal force. Equation.
FC is equal to mv squared by
R.
r.
F is equal to mv square by R. One more equation is there. What's that, Emmeline? One more equation for calculating the centripetal force.
FC equal to mr omega square.
Mr omega square. Meryl, one more equation are there for calculating the centripetal acceleration. What is that?
Acceleration is equal to R alpha.
That is the relation between angular acceleration and linear acceleration. One more equation for calculating the centripetal acceleration.
R omega square.
R omega square. So there are two equations are there for calculating the centripetal acceleration. AC is equal to what are the two equations? V square by R. This is one equation, or we can say AC is equal to R omega square. So the first equation, the equation for centripetal acceleration in terms of linear velocity. The second equation, centripetal acceleration in terms of angular velocity. Okay, AC is equal to V square by R. In terms of angular velocity, AC is equal to R omega square. Similarly, in the case of centripetal force, we have two equations. FC is equal to mv square by R in terms of linear velocity. In terms of angular velocity, we have FC is equal to m into R omega square. So here we have two equations are for calculating the centripetal force. So that's all about this chapter. Here we are starting the chapter with the vectors. We're discussing about the addition, arithmetic operation of vectors, addition, subtraction, and especially the multiplications, law of sine, law of cosine, dot product, cos product. Then what all topics are left? Then we will discuss about the projectile motion, very, very important topic of this lesson. Horizontal flight, time of flight, horizontal range, maximum height of the projectile and all. Then we will discuss about the uniform circular motion. If you have any doubt regarding with this topic, you can ask me anytime, no problem. Okay. Can we wind up the session? And from the next class onwards, I think we can start the revision. Small part. For half an hour, we can take for the revision of the term 1 exam. Are you ready? So for the next class, you just prepare for which chapter you are like, you can choose, it's your choice. Which chapter you are like to be prepared for the next class? Starting from first or from the last? Yes, 1 more minute left.
Chapter?
From the first chapter. Okay, all right. Okay,